Well, it's almost time to get the Plymouth registered. The last time it was registered was 1971 using this plate. You can see the sticker right here. Now if I go in and register the car today, they'll give me one of the current California license plates, which are white. What I am able to do, however, is use a plate from the year of manufacture. This is a 1941 California license plate, and as long as the number is available, they'll let me register the car with this. And so that's what I plan to do. I got this license plate at a swap meet a while back, and it was in pretty bad condition. I sent it to a place that does restoration. Now it took him over a year to get it done, but it turned out beautifully, and I have both the front and the back license plate. So this is what I'll be using to register. I already cleared it with DMV and the number is good. I went into the DMV the other day to find out what I would have to do to register the car, since it hasn't been registered since 1971. I found out there was a brochure which California Department of Motor Vehicles has called Register Vehicles for which DMV has no record, and it goes through step by step what needs to be done. There are several forms that need to be filled out. One is the application for title or registration. Another one is a certificate of non-operation. And then there's a statement of fact which lists all the details about the vehicle. Now in addition to that, the pink slip was actually put in my mother's name when I bought this car back in high school, and my mother's passed away since. So I have to have a form filled out called Affidavit for Transfer Without Probate. So there's another form to fill out. And then finally, in order to use the year of manufacture plate, there's a special registration that's required called Year of Manufacture License Plate Application. So if I get all of those things completed, I should be able to register the car and have it ready to go. I have the pink slip, as I said, that was issued in 1971, and I also have the pink slip from, or a copy of the pink slip from the previous owner that was issued in 1943. Now the interesting thing about the old pink slip is that there has a place for the car serial number and the engine number. Because as you know, these Plymouths had three numbers on them. One was the body number, which was put on by whoever made the body, either Dodge or Briggs. There was also the engine number, which is stamped onto the engine block and then also stamped onto the frame behind the left wheel. And then there's the serial number, which is put by tag onto the door sill. So they used the serial number and the engine number. But when it comes to the pink slip that was issued in 1971, only the engine number is on there. So I'm not sure if they will use the serial number or the engine number this time, but I'm guessing they're going to stay with the old pink slip and just use the engine number, which is fine because I haven't changed it and the same engine and frame are together on the car. So I'll let you know if I have any problems, but it looks like in California they've got this worked out, so it shouldn't be too hard to register the car. The question I had this week was, are you going to show how you put together the garnish molding and the ventilator window? And the answer is yes. I did one of them already, and I have one more to put together, so I'll just go through that real quickly. There aren't a whole lot of parts, so this shouldn't take too long. First we start with the stripped down garnish molding. This is just a piece of sheet metal that's been stamped into the shape. I sent this out and had it wood grained. Wood graining is something I didn't want to take time to learn, and there are people who do this professionally who do just an outstanding job using inks and the original mats that were used to get the wood grain effect. So that part is done. But in order to do that, you have to literally strip everything from the part, including some of the pieces that were riveted on. So first thing that needs to be done is to add those pieces back on. This is the stop that holds the ventilator window open, and it goes right on here. Now it was held on originally with rivets. Since those rivets aren't easily available in the size that's required, I'm going to just use some small screws to put this back together. The head of the screw was too thick to go under the rubber gasket, so I ground the head down flat to make it more like a rivet. The next thing we want to do is install the rubber gasket that goes around the ventilator window. I got this from steel rubber and it fits just about perfectly. There is a little trimming that needs to be done, but I'll show you that later. I had the ventilator window frame re-chromed along with all of the parts, the handle and everything. That meant it had to be taken apart. So now we're going to put it together and then put the new glass in so it's ready to install. The handle itself is quite simple to reassemble. With the cap press fit back onto here, it's just a simple matter then of putting a little spring down in here, and then this piece goes on here. It only goes on one way. And then there's a rolled pin that slides through the bottom that holds the whole thing into place, and that just needs to be pushed in and tapped through. And now it works the way it's supposed to. Open and then lock shut. Push the button and open. Now the next thing we do is to set the glass, and we do that exactly how we did the glass on the side window. You take a piece of the glass tape and you measure it so that it's long enough to extend a little bit past the end on both sides, and we'll cut off that piece. Then we'll fold the tape in half so that we can get it centered on the glass, and then wrap the glass. Keeping the tape centered. Now once that's done, we just go ahead and put the frame on, and just the pressure of the tape pushing against the frame is what holds it on. Once we get it put in most of the way, once again we take our dead blow or rubber hammer and tap it in. Until it's sitting just the right distance on the ends. When it's completely set and square in the frame, then it's time to cut the excess off with a razor blade. We're back to our garnish molding and the window ready to install. There's a place right here where two washers go in, and what you have to do is to start this through and then get one of the washers put in, slide it through the rest of the way, put the other washer on, then goes the spring, another washer, and the nut. Now on the top part, you pull this out until you can get it to go over this. This part's held in place by this little bracket. Just like the door had an anti-rattle strip that went along the top edge of the glass, the garnish molding does too. So I have the original. I'll just take this and then bend this one to fit. And it helps if you leave a little extra piece on the end here so that you have something to lever against. Then when I get this put on here like this, I'll have to just put the attaching wires on here, and then it'll be ready to go. So there's the garnish molding, nearly complete. It has the anti-rattle strip on here, and then the last bit that needs to be done is the trim piece. This is a piece of white plastic, and it goes right through the holes. And once that's put on there, you just use little spring nuts to hold it on. So there you have the garnish molding and ventilator window completely finished, ready to install. The car should be back from the upholstery shop this week, and I'll do the final assembly. In the meantime, I'll see you on the road.